living increase for their Social Security starting next year, but we're learning from experts that may not be a good thing. Other benefits based on income levels and in some instances lead to penalties if you don't withhold enough money.
Or COLA is based off of the rate of inflation. It's at a 40-year high.
A couple of clients who I have worked with and they are struggling to pay their rent.
Everyone, regardless of where a person lives or how much they have in savings, will go to people automatically.
We got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. Here's what I want you guys to know about the fourth stimulus payment. It's very, very important. There are several ways that you may be able to receive additional stimulus cash from the federal government. Lawmakers have already announced new plans that have been put forward in Congress. It just comes as a way to aim and provide more relief to the people in need. Homeowners have already experienced income loss in the course of the crisis. While some may have recovered from the events of the past 2 years, homeowners might still be struggling to keep up with their housing payments, especially in light of recent inflation. So, early on in the crisis, homeowners were given the option to pause on their mortgage payments via a process known as forbearance, but that option expired after 18 months. It means that mortgage borrowers who took advantage of it early may have exhausted that relief months ago. The good news though is that there is still relief available, and for people who are struggling with household expenses, don't worry because President Biden got your back. Homeowners could be eligible for as much as $80,000 in aid. While this is certain, projections like mortgage forbearance have been largely run out there's still some aid available for property owners thanks to the Homeowner Assistance Fund, and the fund is at a good use of $10 billion available to pay to homeowners who are just behind the mortgage and other housing related expenses. The fund has a good $10 billion available to pay to homeowners who are behind the mortgages and other housing related expenses. As was the case with rental assistance funds, money from the Homeowner Assistance Fund will be given out at the state level, but eligible recipients will be in line for anywhere from $15,000 to $80,000. The money can cover expenses including mortgage payments, property tax, and utilities. To qualify for the aid under the program, homeowners have just got to show that they experienced a financial hardship related to the crisis. They'll need to have a household income that's below 150% of the area's median income. Even if you didn't even file a 2021 federal income tax return, don't worry about it because President Biden also did this. He said that in order to be able to claim extra stimulus cash, mid-October, the IRS sent letters to more than 9 million individuals and families who qualified for this check. Many in this group may be eligible to claim the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, or just an increase in your Social Security benefits. If you missed out on last year's stimulus payment, well, it's more commonly known as a stimulus check. The maximum credit you'll get is $1,400. Joe Biden's student loan relief program also provided up to $10,000 in canceled student loan debt. That's between $125,000 if your annual income is below that amount. So, while most federal student loan borrowers wait for the various legal case to play out, some borrowers are already getting their refunds. Checks are being sent to the people who need it the most and who paid down their student loans after the crisis pause took effect in March. Despite the pause, an estimated 8.8 million people made at least one payment between March 2020 and December 2021. No additional action is needed in order to claim the stimulus cash because you'll be getting it in the
paid sick leave, not just for rail workers, but for every worker in America. That's a goal I had in the beginning, and I'm coming back at it. So, but good morning. The bill I'm about to sign ends a difficult rail dispute and helps our nation avoid what, without a doubt, would have been an economic catastrophe at a very bad time in the calendar. Our nation's rail system is literally the backbone of our supply chain, as you all well know, and so much of what we rely on is delivered on our rail. From clean water to food and gas and to every other good. Rail shutdown would have devastated our economy. Without freight rail, many of the U.S. industries would literally shut down. In the event of a shutdown, my economic advisors report that as many as 765,000 Americans, many of them union members themselves, would have been put out of work for the first time and within the first 2 weeks of the strike alone. Communities could have lost access to chemicals necessary to ensure clean drinking water. Farms and ranches across the country would have been unable to feed their livestock. And thanks to the bill Congress passed, and one I'm about to sign, we've spared the country that catastrophe. At the same time, we ensured workers are going to get a historic 24% wage increase over the next 5 years. improved working conditions, and peace of mind around their health care. And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. I didn't commit we were going to stop just because we couldn't get it in this bill that we were going to stop fighting for it. I've supported paid sick leave for a long time. I'm going to continue that fight till we succeed. And I want to thank Congress, Democrats and Republicans, for acting so quickly. I know this was a tough vote for members of both parties. It was a tough for me, but it was the right thing to do at the moment, to save jobs, to protect millions of working families from harm and disruption, and to keep supply chains stable around the holidays, and to continue the progress we've made and we continue to see on the economy. For months, you couldn't look anywhere without seeing headlines screaming, gas prices at the pump are up. But look, folks, gas prices are down, and you barely hear anything about it right now. They're continuing to go down, and there's a lot more that's going to happen. They're down more than $1.50 a gallon since the summer, and they continue to fall. And our economy continues to grow. The economic report, the GDP.
For the wealthiest people in this country, it was caused by a recession as a result of the greed, recklessness, and illegal behavior on Wall Street. And if those are the causes of the deficit and the national debt, I will be damned if we're going to balance the budget on the backs of the elderly, the sick, the children, and the poor.
The administration has canceled more than $17 billion in debt for 725,000 borrowers, from fixing public service loan forgiveness programs to addressing the borrowers' defense backlog. It's good to see that President Biden is helping out the American people with stimulus checks. If you think he's doing a good job on this, tell me down in the comments. We're back, everybody, and we have some more stimulus information. Social Security news. SSI SSDI stimulus checks. It's official that a fourth stimulus check is going out. Lawmakers have even suggested a one-time tax credit will provide up to $2,000 in additional financial aid to help people during this time. The administration has confirmed that they will take action to address rising inflation. So everybody, continue watching this video because you definitely don't want to miss out on this. As inflation continues to rock the country, households are losing purchasing power. Prices are up on average 8.5% over last year, with increasing fuel costs they're driving the surge. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that the gasoline index rose 18.3% in March and accounted for over half of all the items' monthly increase. As fuel prices increase, so do transportation costs for many firms. Companies pass along these increased costs to the consumer by charging higher prices. What is clear is that the current bout of inflation seen in the market is not affecting all products in the same way. The consumer